Well, that's a carbon reduction plan on a pretty big scale, but what about in our homes? The UK has committed to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions to net zero by 2050, which means we will all need to do our bit. We challenged environment correspondent David Gregory Kumar to find a green home owner to see how they did it.
Shrewsbury in Shropshire. Find a green homeowner, they said.
I'm Dave Green and I'm an energy advisor.
Well, that'll do. Green by name and green by nature. Mr. Green has slashed the carbon dioxide emissions from his home.
I reckon this house, back in the 60s would have probably emitted about 10 tonnes of carbon. Open coal fires, single glazed windows, no loft or cavity insulation. Now we're down to about half a tonne a year, which is a phenomenal.
After transport, it's greening our homes that's going to have the biggest impact on emissions of carbon dioxide and tackling climate change. And that can include radical and suddenly very topical ideas like taking out our gas boilers, which produce a lot of CO2, and moving instead to electrically powered heat pumps. That's what Mr. Green has done, but they're not for everyone.
So having a system that's a slow react system like an air source heat pump is fine for us. So we keep the house at a pretty constant temperature during the day. It goes a bit colder at night, but not too cold. And then the heat pump can work gradually and slowly as it likes to do. It's not a quick react system. So if you're out at work all day and you just want to come in and have a bit of heat for a couple of hours, it's probably not suitable for you.
The water flowing around the system will be at a lower temperature than with a traditional boiler. So in some rooms, for example, you might want to do what they've done here, install a slightly deeper radiator, effectively doubling the area of the radiator, and that means you get out more heat from the same amount of water temperature.
For protesters Insulate Britain, here in action in Birmingham this week, it's the insulation that's the key to cutting carbon emissions from your home. But after that, if it's right for you, a heat pump will certainly slash your emissions and possibly even save you money. So if you do want one, where do you start?
Look at what insulation you can do, and then find somebody else who's done it. Installers are all well and good, but they have a particular product that they want to sell. Go and talk to somebody who's had it done. Ask them if they like their installer. If they didn't like their installer, find somebody else and ask them.
And full disclosure, when winter weather really bites, Mr. Green still has his toasty wood burner. David Gregory Kumar, BBC Midlands Today, Shrewsbury.